Hello again. This is Michael Boudreau and my buddy Chris McDaniels.
What's up?
We wanted to walk you guys through the production and installation of the Zen Dragon mural. This particular mural went on a large triangular vaulted ceiling that was segmented into 3 sections divided by beams. And painting this puppy on site was not quite feasible, so we opted, as we often do, to paint it in the studio on canvas and then install it on site.
So you can see what we're doing here is we're using a form of canvas called muslin cloth, which is thinner and easier to use, cutting it into 3 triangular sections. Stretching it up on the wall, I'm going to iron out all of the wrinkles. And then once we've got that thing all stretched out, what are we going to do here?
We primed it. We primed it with oil-based primer. If you go ahead and take raw muslin or canvas and use a water-based product, it'll shrink right off the wall. So we use the oil base.
Front and back.
Front and back, that's right.
Then after laying down a field of red, what we're doing is we're snapping out some chalk lines to get some reference points so Mike can freehand his drawing up from his sketchbook. And if there's one thing Mike knows how to draw, it's a circle.
And it always looks better in slow-mo. As does everything.
Too true. So I got to wax Mike's car here a little bit and tell you that he did a sketch in his sketchbook. And this was not opaque projector. This was pure freehand, large scale style.
Not that we have anything against opaque projectors.
That's true.
Some of my best friends are opaque projectors. So here we are laying in the first metallic gold tone. We used 2. This first one was Modern Masters. It was a little bit of a true darker gold. And then the second one we used was a brighter gold by Golden Acrylics right out of the tube.
And here, this is a style that I kind of came up with on the fly where giving this kind of dry brushy modeling kind of style gives it a real dimensionality to it and kind of a muscularity for an under texture that'll go underneath the scales, which we're going to add here in a little bit. And we're just kind of blocking in the color at this point.
When meeting with our client, he really let us know that he wanted a centuries-old Chinese dragon style aesthetic. And then to honor that look, we wanted to do research, and we found a lot of images that had gold painting on lacquered red ground, and it worked great with his color scheme. So we went ahead and came up with some drawings and sketches, and the one he approved is what you see here.
We kind of put our own spin on it, though. I think it really honors the tradition while keeping, the kind of Boudreau style. Oh, maybe not everything looks good.
Nice. But yeah, you can see and also, here's the highlight gold. Doesn't that show up nice on top of the darker gold?
Yeah, just the way the light hits it. Depending on where you're standing, you just kind of get a slightly different painting.
Oh, totally. It changed as you walked around it.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
And then, after we got our metallic gold in, yours truly, getting on the scale detail. Hundreds of individual little scales, painting those for days, each one with its own shadow and highlight. A lot of scales on 4 dragons, let me tell you that. And Mike...
I apologize for making you do that. I just didn't feel like doing it.
So meanwhile, he's doing the easy stuff, just laying in a little shading with... what are you using there, Mike?
That's actually burnt sienna glaze. And as you know, glaze is just either, paint that's been thinned out with a binder. Look at him rocking.
Oh, man. You got to, because when you get up in the morning and go do this for a living, you just can't help it. You got to rock out once in a while.
And we thought of doing one more gold as a super highlight that would really show up, and that's gold leaf. And you can see here we put on gold leaf size, which is basically glue. And then you put on the gold leaf, and we're buffing it on, and it just sticks pretty much just where the glue is. And what's really cool about it, look how bright it is. You can paint on top of it, you can glaze on top of it, and it just really adds a nice 3-dimensional kick to the 2-dimensional surface there.
And then, final step is laying in all the smoke.
Smoke? God, you always call it smoke. I swear to God. I designed it to be clouds.
But they're dragons. They just breathe some fire. It's smoke,
Whatever makes you happy, man.
Yeah, it's clouds. Those clouds of smoke. So there it is. The final image. all finished up.
Well, at least what we got done in the studio, because now we got to roll this thing up and transport it all the way to the job site and install it. And there we are.
Installation day, and also take your daughter to work day.
That's my daughter, Kayla.
There she is. So we get on site and we find that because of those beams, we're not going to be able to install this thing in the full-size panel. So we had to chop it into about 8 or 9 smaller puzzle pieces. No stress involved there, was there, Mike?
No, I hate cutting up work, but sometimes you just have to be able to handle it. And what we're doing is we're using wallpaper paste, which is a clay-based paste. It's removable if you ever want to take a mural down, and it's really it's a lot easier to work with these smaller pieces. And it's so heavy after you get all the paint on the muslin, and then you get all that glue on it.
I gotta say, I was amazed because you think this thing is 15 feet by 30 feet, whatever, and we had to reassemble that image basically within a 32nd of an inch, if not perfect. And that entire thing, all 3 panels, came together perfectly. So, we were a little ways off the ground, as you can see in this shot.
Going ladder to extension plank.
Yeah, it's a little bit acrobatic getting all the way up there, and
it was so hot.
Yeah, it was. So we put all our puzzle pieces back together, and wherever the seams were, what do we have to do?
We used Bondo, and then we sanded it down and painted over, and it really helped hide those, so you could barely see where the sections were. And then we patinaed it with an antiquing glaze, which really made it look rich and dark and really beautiful.
And here's an example of something that does look good in slow motion.
Nice. Well, we ended up going back in the wintertime, as you can see. We wanted everybody to take a look at how the room all came together with our client's decor, and he really did a nice job putting together some different textures and patterns.
And there's Mike in my shot.
As always.
Yep. Now here's a little teaser of the Chinese watercolor simulated kind of mural thing that we also did in there. We're going to put a video out of that pretty soon, which is completely cool.
Oh, I love that antique headboard that doubles as an archway.
Yeah, that's cool. And there it is in all its glory.
I'm getting dizzy just looking at it. It was a challenging space, but I think the way it all came together was just stunning.
That's really cool.